Love this song. It's the Mr. Camilleri show. It's the Mr. C. The Mr. Camilleri show. All right, welcome to another episode of the Mr. Camilleri show. So this live stream is for all the students that have mastered multiplication with whole numbers, but multiplication with decimals stumps them or trips them up, or they get confused. See the decimals. The decimals messes them up, but they know multiplication with whole numbers in their sleep. So for this video, for this live stream, I'm going to focus exclusively on where to place the decimal. So we have 3 65/100 times 2 4/10. Welcome to the chat. How's everybody doing? So we have 3 65/100 times 2 4/10. Step 1, we multiply this just as if it were a regular whole number, right? If this were a regular whole number, we would have 365 times 24. We would get 8,760. That would be the answer if we were only dealing with whole numbers. Now, with whole numbers, the decimal point is there, but it would be at the end, and it's kind of invisible. We kind of pretend it's invisible and treat the decimal point like it's invisible when all the numbers are whole numbers. Now, here's how we figure out where to put the decimal point. We look at the regular problem and we count how many digits are behind the decimal point. It's laggy. Is it still lagging? All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going through. Let me know if it continues to lag. All right. So what I do is I have to count how many digits are behind the decimal point. So in this number we have 2 digits behind the decimal point, and in this number we have 1 digit, but that's behind the decimal point. So in this problem we have a total of 3 digits that are behind the decimal. So that means that we have to move the decimal point over 3 places. So here we go. If we move it over 1 place, the answer would become 876. If we move it over 2 places, it becomes 87 6/10. If we move it over 3 places, it becomes 8 76/100 or 8 760,000. Either way you want to say it, both of those numbers have the same value. So our final answer, 3 65/100 times 2 4/10 equals 8 760,000. So that's my first example. Moving on to the next example problem. Please hit that like button. Helps the algorithm a lot. Okay, next problem, we have 7 6/10 times 3 47/100. And I'm not even going to waste your time with all the multiplication, because this is for students that have already mastered multiplication with whole numbers. So I'm just going to put what the answer would be if it were a whole number. The decimal over. So 347 times 76. If we were just multiplying a whole number, and the first step is to multiply as if it were a whole number, the answer would be 26,372. Oh, it's still laggy? Ooh. I don't know why my stream's lagging. I'm not sure why it's doing that. After this problem, I'm going to try to go to another area, maybe do another live stream where it's not lagging so much. All right, so again, we have to count how many numbers are behind each of the decimal points. So in 7.6, we have one number that's behind the decimal. In 3 and 4700ths, we have two numbers that are behind the decimal. So that means we have to move the decimal point over 3 places. With any whole number, the decimal point is going to always be behind all of the numbers. That's always where it is. So we have to move it over again 3 places. I'll do one more example where we have to move it over something other than 3 places, because it's not always going to be the same number. Oh, no worries, no worries. If you're not able to stay up and watch the live stream tonight, it's going to stay on my lives page. It will stay on my lives page. It will be on tomorrow morning. It will be on the next day. It's going to stay up there. So it's going to be up here like pretty much forever. I don't take my lives down. So if you can't stay up and watch it, totally okay. Just tomorrow morning or whenever you get a free moment, you can come back on and watch this live. And then maybe the lagging problem will be solved by then. But no worries. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. So we got to move it over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So our answer, now that we've moved the decimal point to its proper place, is 26 and 372 thousandths. 7 6/10 times 3 and 4700ths equals 26 and 372 thousandths. All right, one more example problem, and then I'm going to call it a live stream. All right, so 9.1 times 5.3. Actually, let me make it a little bigger. I'm going to make it a little bigger because I want everybody to be able to see. 9.1 times 5.3. So starting out, we multiply it as if it were a whole number. And again, I'm going to put the whole number answer right in because we're focused on the decimals for this video. This video is focused exclusively on putting the decimal point in the correct place. I have several other videos that are focused on the actual multiplication and the steps for multiplying. But this video is focused exclusively on moving the decimal point to the right place. So, for every whole number, the decimal point is behind all the numbers, behind all the digits. And to determine how many places we move the decimal point over, we have to look at the problem when we have to count how many digits are behind the decimal point, or how many numbers are behind the decimal point. So here we have one number that's behind the decimal point in 9.1, and we have one number that's behind the decimal point in 5.3. So we have two places. We have to move the decimal point over two places. So here we go. 1, 2. So we have our final answer. 9.1 times 5.3 equals 48.23, or the proper way to say it, 48 and 23 hundredths. All right, that concludes my live stream for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. And if there's an area of math or reading that you're having difficulty with, put that in the comments, and I will try to do a future video on that skill. Until next time, this is Mr. Camilleri signing off.